child is the most important thing in my life. I want her to be happy, looked after, and safe. But at the playground, I can't be right next to her all the time, and it's important for me to be sure that these colourful swings and slides are actually safe. Thankfully, there are playgrounds out there that meet all of my standards. Behind their apparent simplicity is the hard work of hundreds of experts and dozens of high-precision machines. I don't have to think twice about leaving my daughter here for a few minutes while I take a look around KSIL to see for myself whether it truly is one of the world's best manufacturers of playground equipment. Before going into more detail, let's take a look at its status as a well-known, world-class company. Over 40 years in business, KSIL has become one of the largest playground equipment manufacturers in the market and one of the 3 biggest manufacturers in Europe. You can find KSIL playgrounds in almost every Russian city. It operates in 50 different regions and has a continuously growing sales network. The company has major offices in 17 European countries, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Africa, and even Japan. KSIL's policy of offering top-notch quality at reasonable prices has secured the company a leading ranking among playground manufacturers as they continue to bring joy to children throughout the world, from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. KSIL has earned this level of trust through both the quality of every part it makes and the transparency of its manufacturing process. The company's doors are open to anyone who is interested in seeing how truly safe playgrounds are made. Here we are in the inner sanctum, KSIL's design department. Top-flight engineers and designers are busy at work here. Every day, they find ways to integrate children's dreams with advanced technology. KSIL specialists scrutinize hundreds of minute nuances of the geometry of the play area, the compatibility of materials, the durability of the fittings, and the overall functionality of the design. More importantly, KSIL works on improving the very idea of safety in the playground. KSIL is the only company that painstakingly translates the developmental distinctions of nursery and primary school children into age-specific designs. Slides of various heights and shapes, rimmed with safety edges, help teach children as young as 3 to be decisive as they navigate the safe environment. Monkey bars and ropeways help those who are a bit older to learn coordination and friendly competition. And intricately intersecting passageways inside the play area develop spatial orientation skills. But even the largest playgrounds are designed so that adults can easily access any area. Whenever a child needs help, parents can approach promptly, without negotiating downsized steps, flimsy chains, or narrow entries. The playground sets of varying degrees of difficulty offer fun activities for everyone, from 3-year-olds to teenagers. The sets intended for older children and those for toddlers are spaced far enough apart that everyone can develop at their own pace, in a comfortable environment surrounded by peers their own age. Some children are drawn to the swings, merry-go-rounds and rope webs, made out of super strong cord. Others can develop social skills while playing house or having fun in the sandbox, or work on balance by bouncing on a springer. From the design level onwards, KSIL equipment is conceived in a way that encourages children to play. All of the playground sets are part of a fairy tale scenario, completely immersing children in the world of a medieval castle or a pirate ship. In this congenial, child-friendly environment, it's easy for children to become engrossed in roleplay, make new friends, and grow up to be healthy and sociable. KSIL playground complexes are designed with a comprehensive approach in mind, offering children a setting in which they can make friends, become more agile, and even hone their individuality and self-expression. KSIL uses special certified surfaces made of fall-absorbing rubber to pad the play setting and make it even safer. The surface distributes the force of a fall better than any other system, helping to avoid bruises, even if the child falls from a height of 1.5 meters. Rounded corners and edges, special caps on all fittings, step and edge boards with meticulously checked dimensions, and railings everywhere to prevent falling are just some of the thoughtful touches that protect children on KSIL playgrounds. For over 10 years, KSIL has been the only Russian manufacturer whose products have been certified as meeting strict European playground safety requirements. And since 2005, KSIL has not only produced the safest play equipment, but also participated in developing official Russian standards for playground safety, fostering safe childhood development at a national level. If you want flawless mass-produced equipment, you can't rely solely on manual labour. That is why KSIL uses high-tech equipment and robots in its manufacturing processes. The company's manufacturing facility is enormous, covering the equivalent of over 10 football fields. It includes automated stations for processing and painting wood, plywood and metal. Only the best lumber gets approved for use at KSIL playgrounds. Fresh, sturdy pine is dried in special chambers before being sawed and glued under high pressure. During the last stage, this special glued wood undergoes sophisticated milling. All of the holes in the wood are made using software that ensures accuracy down to a millimetre. At KSIL, operations which would normally require several hours of manual work and exceptional levels of skill are completed in just seconds with the press of a button. In the metalworking room, the metal is cut to size before being passed off to robot welders. At speeds faster than any manual operation, they create perfectly smooth welding seams between the part and the fittings. That's how they produce solid, safe metal designs protected against the elements. At the playground, everything with which children come into contact should have rounded edges. Curvature and circular shapes present the biggest challenges in the metalworking process. At KSIL, high-precision shape cutting on a mass scale is executed by a plasma cutter, which can produce hundreds of these perfectly rounded metal components every hour. The calling card of KSIL Playgrounds is our colour palette. To achieve those signature bright colours, both special paint and special ways of applying it onto each type of material are required. A number of sections at KSIL are responsible for making sure the process and temperatures for painting are just right, so that the colour of the playground stays the same through the decades and continues to delight generation after generation of toddlers. Once finished and ready to ship, the playground sets are kept in the KSIL warehouses, in compliance with all conditions of safe storage. Every day, dozens of ready-to-assemble playgrounds head out of the company's production complex, off to meet their new young patrons all over Europe and Russia. With proper installation and assembly under the supervision of KSIL service specialists, as well as regular inspection and repair, these playgrounds will operate for many years to come, delighting children in a safe and awe-inspiring world filled with friends and adventures. Committed to using only natural materials and environmentally friendly technologies, the company makes environmentally safe products that in 20 years' time can be taken apart and completely recycled without harming the environment. KSIL is a careful steward of our planet's resources so that our children's world can always remain bright, clean and safe. I take confidence in KSIL's excellent reputation. Their specialists put their hearts into creating quality products and they truly care about children. On these swings and slides, our children can become strong, confident and sociable, and they'll develop with a smile in this professionally crafted safe haven. That's why mums all over the world trust KSIL with the most precious thing, the happiness and health of our children.